Hey everybody, James Wallace here from Digital Simple. Another episode of my Business Simple podcast. Today we're going to be going over creating an online community. I'm really excited. I've got a fantastic guest with me, Kasia. She does a lot of Instagram. She has a makeup business that she's grown heavily through online. And so I've got a few questions for her. I'll be offering a bit of my insight as well. So welcome, Kasia.
Thanks.
Hey, so to begin with, do you have a very strong community following? It's not necessarily a massive following, but the engagement and stuff is really, really high. Yeah. If someone is trying to create a similar thing for themselves, so maybe they've got a business in beauty or something like that, they want to build that community, what would you say like the first step would be for them?
I think the biggest thing that helped me to grow both an engaged community and people that trust me, like loyal clients and followers, is that not only am I authentic in everything I do, like I always say, if you meet me in real life, I'm exactly the same as I am on the internet. There's no internet filter on it. It's just, well, there's an actual filter on it, but no personality filter. It's exactly the same. But I also offer a lot of content that has substance. So rather than just being like, this is my favourite eyeshadow of the day, this is my favourite eyeshadow, this is how I use it, this is how much it is, and this is where you can get it from. It does obviously get quite complex when you get down to the kind of sponsored, when people are paying you to talk about their products, but to begin with, making sure that you are offering them something. You're not just on there to show pretty photos of yourself at cafes, which is what I do sometimes.
Yeah.
And you're not just on there to show things that you do every day. You're giving them something. So even like on like my personal accounts, I'm giving them food recommendations and I'm giving them places to go and things to see and what to do versus just pretty photos.
Yeah, cool. Off kilter already, so I can tell this is going to be a long episode. So that's actually a really interesting thing that you brought up around the sponsored posts.
Yeah.
So when you get to the point where that sort of happens, how do you not blur the line? Because obviously you talk about that authenticity, but like 10 grand can make you pretty unauthentic. So how do you keep that really pure in that sense?
10 grand's a big number. That would be nice. I wouldn't complain. I mean, obviously I'm still small, like you said, it's a very small but loyal community. In reality, the amount of money that I'm getting paid for posts right now just simply isn't worth losing the loyalty. So I try and work just with brands that approach me for ones that will obviously make sense. So I'm quite lucky in the respect that I have two, so I can pretty much cover anything from hair, makeup, skincare, all the way through to food, travel, lifestyle. There's not a lot of things that wouldn't make sense in my grand scheme of things. But it is making sure, like for example, if you are a makeup artist, that you're not posting about, I don't know, gin on your page. Like, it just doesn't make any logical sense.
Cool.
But I can see how the line does get blurred as you get bigger and bigger, because those numbers do get higher and higher. And I did hear from someone the other day that basically said that one day she just took something because she needed the money and she regretted it more than anything, and the money's not worth it because people were just like, nah, you're a sellout, see you the hell later, goodbye.
I'm huge on like one of my business philosophies is playing long instead of short as well, so I guess that kind of comes back to that, like
you're in it for the long run, so be careful.
So by keeping that engaged community, it's always going to make you more long term than
I had someone tell me once that you're literally better to go get a part-time job than sell yourself out on the internet, because it's there forever. Like
smart.
You're pretty much stuffed once you've done that. So
that's a good wee piece. I reckon that's gonna make a snippet for the that's good.
Yay.
Hey, so something I struggle with a heap, right? So I do a lot of posting for my business. I had a crack at the whole personal brand thing, but I really just decided to roll them all into one just because it was just really strange for me. How do you get over posting so much? And then also when you come into that, because I think you'll bring up probably authenticity around this, like, do you feel like it ever sort of blurs a line where everybody almost knows everything about you? Like, does that get weird?
Yeah. It's gotten to the point where people like walk up to my mum and like somewhere and be like, oh my god, you're Kasia's mum. And she's like, holy crap. Whoops. I think when I first started out, I had this like thing in my head, and I was like, right, so I'll post once every second day. I'll do a story every day, just like a singular story. And I'll do a blog post maybe once every 2 weeks. And then as it got more and as my personal brand started to build versus my business brand, because there's two, which just makes life complicated enough.
Yeah.
I kind of was just like, people aren't falling for this fake, like, it's 7 p.m. on a Wednesday and I'm Igram on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they're not falling for that anymore. They just want what's real and when it is. So I remember my first like massive blog post that went crazy. I think I got 8,500 views on it in 24 hours.
Awesome.
Was literally posted at like almost midnight on like a Saturday. And I was just lying in bed and I was like, I have all these ideas and I really need to get them down onto paper. And I was just like, how the hell? And so I literally put them on my blog, boosted it, and everyone went nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe a coincidence, like, you never know the deal. But I've, like, since then worked out that a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. isn't the worst time to gram if you've got something to give people. And now people are just genuinely interested.
Cool.
So if, like, for example, I'll put an Instagram up while I'm here at some point. If, for example, I'm heading down on holiday, I'm overseas, even when I was in LA, I was 6 hours out of time. But people didn't care. They were just like, I'll just see it. And I mean, with stories, people don't miss it. It stays up the top, and if you are someone that utilises stories well, then it literally stays at the top and they will see yours at whatever time of the day. So.
Yeah, and the algorithm's quite smart around that because it's worked in with what you're really like watching, what you're engaging with, where you're playing with those like buttons and the draggy things and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it is clever to be able to do. I've noticed a lot of them that work really well is like the screensaver ones. Yeah. So people have to pause and hold the story, and then that prioritizes them a lot.
100%. So lots of text on your Instagram story is always a good idea.
Oh, that makes sense. I haven't even thought about that.
People have to pause and hold to read it.
That's smart. I'm taking some tips as well.
I actually don't think that that's like a widely known like trick. Yeah. But I've been doing it for forever and just never told anyone that that's why I'm doing it. So sorry, guys. Okay,
that's clever. I'm gonna use that. Hey, so I want to jump back a step. The blog post. Yeah. What was the blog post about?
I captioned it "Shout out to my ex."
Okay.
It had nothing to do with my ex at all.
Okay, yeah.
It had to do with like ex friendships and ex relationships and literally even like ex like hobbies and everything that's been previous in your life that's no longer in it. And I think at the time it definitely was aimed at a particular thing that had happened in my life.
Yeah.
I think the only time that I'll ever really hold something back is when it is aimed at something so particular that it could come across as nasty. Like, for example, I see something on the internet, I don't know what it is, I write a blog post straight away, it's going to be pretty obvious and it's more of a dig rather than like an insight. So sometimes I'll hold something back and give it about 6 weeks and then be like, okay, let's just tweak and get rid of the anger that's coming through and then post. But that one was something I'd been thinking about for about 2.5 months, and then one thing tipped me over the edge, and I was like, right, we're going live.
Cool. So I think with that blog post, something that I, like kind of rings true is probably the quality and relatability of like the content. Because the whole shout out to my ex thing is like quite, I guess it's empowering and stuff like that. And so with that, people get behind it. They talk about it. They share it with other people, and there's that whole kind of online.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want to be the person that just jumps on my blog to whinge.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whinge, but it also had, this is what I learned and this is what I've taken from it. And I always try that, because I'm a 20-year-old girl and I whinge a lot. Yeah. I'm very sorry for my parents. They hear it all the time. But I always try to, I guess, if something's negative, find the positive. And I think I was talking about this not this long ago with a friend, that's actually genuinely changed my perspective on life. Because I'm trying to be positive for the internet, and the internet is pretty much my entire life. Yeah. So it's just making me a positive person in general.
Yeah,
nice. I walked up the stairs before, I've had the worst day. I literally had mee goreng noodles for lunch. I'm just not feeling today. But it's like, tonight I'm probably going to put a blog post up about my day, and it's been a whole week really. Yeah. And kind of be like, this is what happened, this is what I learned though, and this is where I'm going from there.
Yeah, cool. That's super intelligent. That rings really true. I'm going to try not get super off kilter because I do this.
You're all good.
But yeah, that whole positivity thing and stuff like that, I think it comes across a lot in the the content and stuff that you post. Yeah, and the fact that like I follow it as well probably sings true to a lot of it because I am not at all.
You are not my target market.
No, like probably as far from it as possible. But like I guess with the positivity and stuff like that, everybody can benefit from it. I'm not going to learn from how to put on mascara or something like that. But yeah, cool. Okay. The 3 biggest lessons you've learned while building specifically your online following.
Oh goodness. Okay. One of them was, again, like you're in it for the long run. So I think about 6 months ago, everybody really got caught up in this followers thing.
Yeah.
And it was this massive drama. And I mean, I had a couple teary nights about it, and I was like, I really want 10K so I could use swipe up. I really want 10K so I can use swipe up. And I mean, I go back and look at it. At the time, I had like 3,000 followers. Most of them were probably my friends from high school.
Yeah.
So it's, I think I learnt that you are definitely more valuable to a PR agency or a brand or something, or whoever you're trying to target, when you've got authentic following. Like, I know people that have the exact same numbers as me that get a third, if not less than that, of my engagement.
Yeah.
And it's not even so much my likes or my comments, it's the ability that people feel like they can trust me, so they DM me about personal things. I get emails daily from followers being like, help. And like just for skincare, but then all the way through to relationships now, and I'm like, oh my god,
cool.
I'm really not the Bible, but that's alright.
Yeah.
So that's one, is that you like don't get caught up in that. It's really not worth your time and energy. I think another one that I've learned recently is that while I try and show everything, there is a semi-filter. I think there is such thing as an overshare on the internet. And at some probably about 2 or 3 months ago, I was like, nah, show everything. People love it. Like, vulnerability is key, but now I'm like, no, it really isn't.
Yeah.
Every now and then, vulnerability is what gets you people that don't like you and gets people talking about you in a negative light rather than a positive light. So I think sharing, like I said before, sharing the things that you've learned rather than just the negatives. And like, I try and avoid ranting now. I used to rant all the time, and now I'm like, just bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And then number 3, I think people go into it, they start like a business, for example, and someone's like, get on Instagram. Instagram's the best thing in the whole world. Instagram is the best thing in the whole world. But I think you've really got to have a business mind. And I do. I'm very lucky that I see everything I do on Instagram as part of my business rather than just for fun. I mean, it's fun too, but it is part of my business. So working out how you can monetize in the future, working out how things are actually going to like engage with your audience. Like, there is method to madness. I don't just post 3 times a day because I want to post 3 times a day. For example, I was just in Sydney and I posted a photo and it went well. So I was like, stuff it, I'm going to post a photo an hour later because it's going to go well again. And it won't necessarily go well in the same way, but that's how you can get, like, you can keep building. And hype is a thing. Like, hype is the biggest thing on the internet. Like, if people love you, just keep going while they love you until they stop loving you anymore, you know? Cool. So they're my biggest 3, I think.
Yeah, you touched on this, but how selective you are over what you post from your life. So is it really just like, you mentioned the negative things, and I fully agree with that. I could not agree any more if I tried. Like, people don't really care when you're down, and like, it's interesting because like, it's always important to really think about what you're going to get from a post that you put up. So if you put up a post and you're like, man, my life's hard, I just worked 16 hours today. Everyone's like, they don't care. And then you might have someone who,
like, hype girls be like, oh, you poor thing. But that's about it.
It's just like when you're doing like loser sort of stuff, losers will help you. Like, that's kind of, whereas if you're like, I just worked a 16-hour day, I'm knackered, but I'm stoked, this is what I accomplished, this is what I'm going to have. All the other people 100%. Who are winning will be like, that's it. That's
it reminds
me
of people with emailing businesses, and they just act like their life is epic all the time. And you're just like, wow, your life is epic. And I'm just like, stop.
Buy my Arbonne. Very good.
My Arbonne. Like 6 of those messages a day. I wish I could filter out those words. Be like, Arbonne, buy. Nothing against Arbonne people who work.
It's not personal.
Buy your Mercedes, do all your good stuff.
You'll be a millionaire in no time. So aside from the negatives, are you like, is there certain elements of your life that you cut out of what goes online?
I probably share 98% of what happens in my life. But I mean, there are certain things, and it's not necessarily directly my things. Like, it might be something that's happened to a friend, or something that's going on, I don't know, financially, or like something like that. And I choose not to share that.
Cool. That's fantastic. Following on from that, have you ever put a post up that's had a terrible response? And if you have, like, what would you do, or what would you tell someone to do if that happens?
Like, negative, or like it just didn't work?
More negative. Okay. Like, I'm more interested in like actual adversity that's been caused by
I say some dumb stuff sometimes.
Everybody does,
Every now and then something slips out of my mouth, and I mean, it's generally like a saying that I shouldn't say. Like, I should probably get rid of that out of my vocab, I mean, people have issues with me swearing, but in reality, you just shouldn't follow me if you don't like swear words.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've done 1 or 2 things, and it's honestly really only been in the last 6 months. And what I find interesting about that is I would have said that exact saying before, but people wouldn't have been paying as much attention. Like, the bigger you grow, the more people listen, the more people just want to find something to ruin you with. Yeah. And I mean, I said it, and it was on my story, thank goodness it wasn't an actual post. And I had 5 or 6 people within about 10 minutes be like, Kasia. And I was like, oh, whoops.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I took it off straight away. And then I pretty much put on my PR hat and I think of every bad thing that I've seen happen in the media. And I'm like, how do they handle it and how am I going to do it? Mm-hmm. And so I basically sat down and I was like, look, I'm really sorry that offended anybody. Like, I know I shouldn't have said it. And then I think bringing in I'm going to learn from it and obviously actually learning from it too.
Yeah.
But I also, I mean, I've worked in retail for 5 years before I started doing what I was doing now. Mm-hmm. And every now and then someone gets offended by something.
Yeah. Just happens.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, you just need to not follow me. Like, swear words.
Okay.
And I'll get someone message me and be like, stop using such a potty mouth. Normally it's my mum.
Yeah.
She's like, quit it with the potty mouth, Cass. But I think I understand how you're feeling. I'm really sorry that I made you feel that way, and then this is what I'm going to learn from it. But yeah, I mean, I think in the 3 years that I've been doing it on the internet, I've said 2 bad things that I actually really regretted.
Okay,
And just making sure that you're actually genuinely sorry, and I haven't done it since.
Yeah, it's not a bad strike rate though,
yeah.
is it? Yeah.
2 out of 3 years, I think I'm doing okay. Yeah, I post like 150 times a week.
Yeah.
Stories and posts, so I do pretty well.
I've got a bit of like almost a slightly different opinion around the swearing, but it's different because of who I talk to, I think.
You're very professional.
That's a stretch.
But compared to me.
my target market, the people that I'm looking to help, actually really don't like swearing. And when I first started, that was the thing that I got back the most.
100%.
Was, look, great advice, blah, blah. There was massive flaws to it.
Yeah.
Like, huge flaws to it. But the number one thing that I came back with was stop swearing. And so, like, normally, like, I understand the whole, well, don't follow me then.
Yeah.
But for me, this is really...
And you're trying to get clients out of it as well, so...
It's more, like, business orientated, I think. I actually don't swear. In myself. If you want to swear on the podcast, it's fine. You're more than allowed to. But I don't swear in any of my online content. A few beers with a client on a Friday, it's a bit different, But I think that's just about kind of holding digital simple. I do view myself, and I know the perception is becoming it's quite a professional, people first sort of company. And I think doing that and then, swearing my face off in my videos is kind of a little bit contradictory. But then, like, for me, in terms of negative responses, every time I post something, but I'm like you in the sense I do not care. Yeah. I could not. Like,
I think you build
it.
a wall and you're just like, no, I actually don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, I almost live for it. Yeah. It's kind of I have a twisted relationship with it. Like, it's very love-hate, I guess. Because sometimes when you're feeling a little bit vulnerable or whatever, it stings a little more than normal. You're like, oh, they said that about me. But honestly, most of the time, I'm just like,
yeah.
So,
and it's like when I went back to talk about when people say stuff and I'm like, I don't actually care. It's like the other ones that I'm like, you aren't actually offended, you're just out here to get me. And it's like you get to the point, and I mean, it's happened to me, it's not very frequent, but it happens every now and then. And when it does, it's something that I'm like, and then I'm like, no, I don't care. What am I talking about? And I'm giving this person attention, and that's what they want, so see you later. It's really like back to bullying at high school, and you're like, stop being me.
Yeah, except now you kind of have a bit of a different perspective, right? Yeah, like I had a recent one where someone I used to work with gave a bit of backlash and like there was a bit of stuff around me not knowing what I'm talking about and that sort of thing. And I just kind of looked at it and was like, they genuinely benefit if I stop posting.
Exactly.
They have a vested interest. So it suits them to ask me. And whether they're right or wrong, I don't really care. I went home and I made a video. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I guess you've got to build a bit of a wall. Yeah. You've got to, 100%. Hey, so speaking of the more business side of it, so your makeup business, that's why you started posting, is that right? Cool. Yeah. How's that benefited as a result? Because we're
me posting on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's all my makeup business is.
Yeah, okay.
I've spent in the last almost 3 years in business, $110 on marketing outside of social. And that's pretty much to buy my business cards.
Yeah.
I bought a banner, which I never use anymore. And I put this magazine article in that got me absolutely no return.
Yeah.
And I think because of my age, and because of my clientele, everybody that I try to attack, that's definitely not the right word. Attract.
There we go. It's similar.
We got
It was just a stutter.
Just
Yeah.
a couple of letters, but is 18 to 35.
Yeah.
Majority 18 to 24.
Yeah.
And so as I left school, I was like, right, I've got this really epic opportunity to take all these people who are already paying attention to me because of my age and who I am, and they know me through friends or they know me through school or something like that, and just get them on my page. And then it literally just comes through word of mouth. So I had a client, I've started asking, I never used to, but I never used to be like, hey, how did you find me?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, hey, how did you find me? Like, how did you get here? Why did you book? Etc. etc. And I'm more than likely it's word of mouth now. Yeah. Which is quite interesting. And I actually get to the end of a Saturday, and at the end of all my client bookings, I post a video of every single one of my clients. And if I can find them on Instagram, if the handle is not difficult, then I'll tag them.
Yeah.
And so often I'll tag them, and then they'll start following me. And they've never actually been following me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And it's really interesting, but it obviously is a testament to the fact that people trust me and trust my work enough to recommend them to friends. So that's a good thing.
I've always found with the whole word of mouth one, that's a funny one, because back when I worked in radio, we'd run a radio campaign, and it would go gangbusters.
Yeah.
Like the business would have all these new leads and stuff coming in, and not a single person would credit radio.
Yeah.
Everyone would just say word of mouth. I reckon that's a real.
Is that word of mouth?
Yeah, like that's a classic Kiwi, like doesn't want to stand out from the crowd, doesn't want to be, so he's just like, oh yeah, just through a mate, and just kind of writes it off. But it's interesting that like people aren't even following you and stuff like that.
It's crazy. I'm just like, okay, so
yeah,
it's weird. But I mean, most of them would, but there's a few that don't.
Yeah. So you mentioned you've spent $110 since your business started, not on social media.
Yeah, correct.
What do you spend on social?
I probably spent about $100 since.
Oh, so you don't pay for ads? You don't really.
Ads.
Okay.
The only time you'll ever see a paid for ad is if a company has paid for me to pay for the ad. Does that make sense?
Okay,
So they've said, we'll put a $300 boost on this post. Here's $300 so you can do it. Or every now and then I will pay for an ad for a giveaway. But at max I'll probably put maybe $10 on it.
Oh wow! See, I am used to, and from that follower,
I know, crazy,
my clients spend.
Yeah, and they're just like, here's $21,000, and you're like, hey.
Oh, honestly, like $1,000 a month as an ad budget on top of my my fees is small. Yeah, like that's standard. And I've got clients that we're spending $2.5 grand this month, $3 grand this month on Facebook. But like honestly, when you see the returns, like it's pretty easy to justify. Like we'll spend, I think that balances out at about $100 a day. Yeah. But he'll sell 100 tickets to a show a day. Yeah. At $70 a pop.
So you're like, okay.
Yeah. So anyone, if they could trade in, $100 and get that back in return, would do it any day of the week. But I guess it's different, and yours is a lot more organic. Yeah. Whereas my sort of my focus for how my company works is like paid traffic, sales sort of orientated stuff, and then content is a secondary to me.
Whereas I'm like the total opposite.
Yeah, hence you being here.
I'd much rather be an organic presence on the internet.
Yeah. Okay.
People just find me because their friends told them, or etc.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Any final words of wisdom?
Oh God.
What a heavy question, eh? So open. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, authenticity is absolutely key.
Cool.
I think the only thing that I struggled with, and especially in the last couple of months as I've tried to, because I've only been doing this full time for, what month are we in? September, so 9 months.
Okay.
Is that if you don't have hustle, you will literally go nowhere.
Great.
Like a lot of the time, there's this massive taboo around reaching out to brands and doing all this stuff and getting yourself work, particularly when you start to monetize your platform. But if you don't have hustle, you're literally going to get nowhere. Like if you don't, and it's hard because you might email so and so and be like, hey, I'd love to do a paid campaign with you, and they just don't even email back. Like people are actual assholes. Yeah. But 6 months later, they might email you with no word of the email that you sent earlier and be like, hey, Cassie, we'd love to work with you. And it's like, hey, can you just acknowledge the fact that I asked you to work with me 6 months ago and you said no? Well, you didn't even say no. You just said nothing. So, I mean, it's a cutthroat industry, especially when you're doing it on a personal lifestyle scale. I'm lucky that the makeup side of me kind of doesn't really rely on any of that. But, apart from that, hustle and be authentic.
Cool. That hustle's sick.
Loves a
That's
hustle.
a real. I didn't expect you to say that, but I like that you did.
Loves the hustle.
And then the whole rejection thing. Like, I mean, like my first sales job was door to door.
Yeah.
So like,
My skin is so thick.
Yeah. Say no.
Me,
Don't answer my emails. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I saw it.
There we go.
All right, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. We're gonna film another one now as well. And that'll be released at a later date. So stay tuned.
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome.